good afternoon. As you saw in maybe not the previous episode, but the one before, I broke the alternator in this thing. So in this episode, we're not only replacing but upgrading the alternator to a unit that puts out like 4 times the power. So also, hopefully it will help our problem with not generating enough electricity. And hopefully it's a simple thing, but there's a little bit of wiring involved, and it's not just a straight replace the alternator. So why don't we get started? Okay, step 1 is remove the alternator. So we're gonna pull this nasty plug out. Oh god, maybe we should clean this. Yeah, this looks nasty. No wonder it fucking broke. Criminy. And then there's another plug in the back. That's not gonna come out easily. Okay, well, that's not coming off easily, so I'm gonna undo the top bolt of the alternator, loosen the bottom bolt, tilt it this way so I can get a better angle at it. Let's just take the belt off. We can just let this hang for now. As long as we put it back correctly, it's fine. And there's a sticker here that shows you how to put it back correctly. Oh yeah, that's on there. Oh, that's a nice noise, isn't it? Okay, now we're gonna hopefully twist this up nice and easy, and it'll give us better access to this here plug. Okay. Apparently I can't get the impact in there without just pinching it, including my fingers, so we're gonna take this out by hand, which is always annoying. There we go. Now the alternator should pop right out. What's it caught up on? There we go. Pop right out. We can see here it says remanufactured, so this has been replaced at least once before. So that's exciting. Alright, next step is we're going to trim back the tape here, and we're going to modify the wiring on here because the new alternator is a little bit different. Plus, LMR includes a new one of these with their kit, so I may as well replace it since I already have it. Oh yeah. And like this tape is just like crumbling. Okay, finally. I think that's all I should need to do because I think this is gonna go. Okay, here we go. Here's the dangerous part. Not dangerous, but certainly the part I'm not looking forward to the most. Alright, I need something stronger than these. cut the yellow wire and the green wire from the regulator plug. Discard the old regulator and stator plugs. Alright, these are going in the garbage. Okay, here's our new little parts kit. Comes with this little teeny guy. And then this plug looks identical. And then some connectors and a bolt. Trim the new stator plug down and strip the wire end. Figure 2.2. So it looks like this is the new stator, which already seems to have a little bit of trim on it, but I might trim that down a little more if I'm going to solder it. So the instructions say to use these butt connectors, but I got a nice soldering iron, so I'm going to use it. Because this is automotive, I'm going to turn the temp way up. Okay. This is trimmed back a little bit. Because I'm not that great at soldering, I'm going to trim it back a little bit more. And we're going to cut this. Do the same to the white wire on the new regulator. Same situation. They got just a little bit on there. I'm going to cut them back a little bit more to make it easier on myself when I solder them together. So what I like to do, twist them together, because then there's already an okay connection, and it makes it easier to solder because they don't come apart as you're heating it up. Okay, so that's nice and twisted. This says it's good and hot. Okay, so now we're gonna tin the tip a little. We're gonna heat up the wire and then solder the joint. Now, I'm not the best at this in the world, but I think that will do just fine. Give that a yank, it ain't going anywhere, and then we're gonna cover it in tape. Now, the stator and the voltage regulator are permanently connected. Oh, so I guess I'm just connecting these to these. So we're connecting green to green and yellow to yellow, and then I don't have any clue what we're doing with the black one, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to solder these bad boys together. I might do the same thing here and turn it over and make sure the connection is good, because this does not look like my best work. Maybe I just needed some more heat, I don't know. Okay, let's wrap this up and let's move on to green. Let's wrap this last wire up. Oh, last. There's 2 more wires. But I think we're done soldering. Crimp on the ring connectors. Okay, crimp. Okay, that's on there. That's on there. And that, folks, is why I don't like crimp connectors. So, you can see here, the alternator physically touches the bracket. So, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my paint marker, mark around it, and then I'm going to cut that chunk of the bracket off. Alright, now I got to take this back out so that I can get to trimming. So, I'm going to use a grinder, which is fairly large, so I'm going to use a zip tie to temporarily hold this thing back. This thing being the water hose. Coolant hose, I guess. so I don't have to worry about holding it back while I'm working. Okay. So now we're gonna put the alternator back in and see if it fits. And if it fits, we're done. If it doesn't fit, we're gonna grind a little more. Back out you come. At the least, I'm like a friggin' expert in removing alternators now, right? Once I get it in theory, I never have to freaking worry about it ever again. We've got plenty of clearance. I in fact think I just whacked it in a little tight. No, maybe not. Maybe that's just perfect. Alrighty, new alternator installed. This kit also comes with a new main power wire because this alternator puts out a lot more power. So now we have to install that. Remove the air box. God damn it, if I had to remove this all along, it's been in the way the whole time. There we go. Okay, so to install the power wire, the first thing we're going to basically do is undo this nut and put one end of the power wire on it and these two guys, and then we may as well plug these other two guys in too. So this goes on here, and then this goes on there, and then this also somehow goes on there. Oh, that's a tight fit, and I guess that's why it's a nut, and you can squish them all together. Now I'm gonna get under the car and find my nut. So we switched cameras due to the usual battery design. I'm gonna zip tie this new line to the main line all the way around here, and then to, I believe, one of these guys. But we'll check that, obviously, before we try to turn the car on. I'm gonna use my high-speed, low-drag B is for build zip ties. So the end result is I need to connect this to here, but then I need to tuck this away a little better, I think. Connect it up, and then I can zip tie it to a couple of these other wiring harnesses and call it good. So let's take this off, put that ring on there, and then get zipping. Now we're going to put our sports back in, put the airbox back in, put the battery back in, and then put the belt back on, and then cross our fingers that the car starts. Actually, before I put the airbox back in, I'm going to tape some of these wires back up. Okay, now we're going to put the belt back on. There we go. Woo! Okay, the belt's on, the battery's in, everything should be good to go. So, it runs. The voltmeter on the dash, which I thought has been broken since I bought it, reads about 13 volts. So I'm going to say that it wasn't broken. It's just that the entirety that we've owned it, it hasn't been too healthy. So we're done with that. There's some tidying up to do, like strapping the battery in and making sure everything's all secure, that we're going to do another day, because it is starting to rain. But I do want to give a sneak preview of things to come. These are new parts that are going to go on Monday. I got a new rear end with better gears, 355 gears, stainless lines, disc brakes in the rear off of a 2003 Mach 1. It also has these tubular arms, which may or may not be stock for 2003, but they're certainly better than the 88 ones. And then we've got the whole front clip off of that car also, so we can use the 5-lug spindles, probably the ball joint. I might end up using the sway bar because it looks like it's bigger. And I am really excited. Let me show you what, I mean, the rear brakes is huge.
But let me show you what else I'm excited about. Ugh. These are the discs for it. So they're quite a bit larger than the ones that are currently on there. Ugh. And these are the calipers, which are Cobra calipers. So I'm very excited. Better braking all around, front and rear, and better ratio in the rear, and we paid less money than we were going to do basically the same thing on Monday anyway with these used parts, even though most of these parts aren't even used. These rotors, brand new. These pads, brand new. And the rear end has been serviced in the last 5,000 miles, so it should last a good long while. So all in all, I'm very excited, and that's your teaser. We'll be installing those over the next few months. So stay tuned, and I hope you have a nice day.